Hello everybody, welcome to Rewrite Your Reality with Reese. I am your host, and today going to discuss manifesting and how the physical aspects of reality relate to it, right? So here's the first idea. Be the source of your reality. Take this idea, right? The plant does not grow from the soil. It grows from the seed, right? You are the source of that seed. Your imagination is the soil. The seed is your awareness, right? The seed is the source of the seed is your awareness. Already whole, already complete. And the soil in the 3D is where your desire just sprouts from. You don't need to go and do anything with it, right? You don't do anything to make that seed grow any faster than the fastest way possible that is already you just naturally being who you are, right? Most people try to manifest from the ground up. Right? They go and they fix the soil. They go and they check this. They do that. They they do all of these things, right? But here's the thing. All of those things come about naturally, you experiencing the growth of that seed in that soil, right? No amount of dead soil is going to grow your seed. But when you know you can plant that seed in your awareness and know that you can experience the manifested experiencing of it right now, that is you planting that seed in perfect soil, right? You can't go here and fixate and fix conditions just so you can plant the seed. You don't have to do that in here, right? In your imagination. But here in the experiencing of 3D reality, you can't do anything that nets you anything. It might seem like that sometimes, right? It really does, where hard work and pushing and effort, it gets you something. But understand that hard work, pushing, and that effort really does come from your own awareness, believing you need hard work, pushing, and effort. I'm not saying something that you do will not be hard work and feel like some amount of effort. Why? Because you are already saying yes to the experiencing of that. But you don't have to go and do that to get the experience. It'll naturally just come about, right? I remember in a version of reality, I had to dig a trench. I didn't go try to dig a trench. I wasn't building up to build or to dig said trench. It just one day I just had to build a trench, right? It came about a plumbing thing. I had to build a trench, dig a trench, right? And it took literally, I think, about 9 hours of non-stop digging, right? Dig. So there's the effort, there's the physical effort as part of the experiencing. But it wasn't physical effort to do that. It was part of the experiencing, right? Manifestation doesn't start at the ground, me digging. It starts from being the source, right? Source of experiencing whatever and however you desire to experience things. And whatever happens in the physical reality is only happening in the physical reality, right? It can't point you to awareness because it is awareness. When I say whatever is happening in the physical reality, I mean if it's happening within your awareness, and if it's physically manifested or even non-physically manifested, it doesn't change to something else. It's not pointing you to anything else. It's not doing something else. It's only ever pointing you back to yourself, which is awareness, right? And you can think of it like this. When you push a box, right? There's force, gravity, friction, motion, all of the wonderful physics, right? Physics, maths, biology, whatever, right? A little bit of geography there as well, I guess, right? But all of that is just within awareness itself, frame by frame. And whether you're walking or you're breathing or you're creating universes, awareness is doing the same thing, expressing itself through another story, right? Physics does not lead you to awareness. Physics is awareness telling itself another story, right? You do not need to rewire your subconscious or micromanage neurons in your brain so they fire together. You can go straight to your end and experience that end. The naturalness of you experiencing end over and over and over as your preference, that was the word, as your preference already does all that. It's already rewiring your subconscious from the infinite variation that it is, and saying, I'm lighting this up consciously. I'm lighting this thread consciously. I want my neurons to fire when I experience this experiencing consciously. It's doing it by itself. You don't have to go there first, fix it, go there first, fix that, and then do it. No. Know your end. If you already know what your end is, it means you already know what your end is. Why would you go about fixing it just to experiencing it? Right? That's another way we go about fixing the soil before we plant the seed. But realize imagination is perfect soil already. You don't have to go and fix it. Right? Whatever seed you plant will grow. Realize it's already grown, it's already there, it's already fully fleshed out. You're just planting the entirety of that seed, experiencing it and saying, I'm choosing to live from this idea. Right? And when you know yourself as awareness, as infinite intelligence, reality rearranges itself automatically. Your path will always be the path of least resistance. Because whatever you are most resistant to is not your awareness. You aren't going there, you aren't going here, right? You're going to go through the open door. And whatever you experience is simply what you are least resistant to experiencing. So be open to experiencing everything. And that's the fastest way, allowing everything. What would be faster than allowing everything to exist, including the fastest possible way of you experiencing whatever it is you desire as the identity you desire to just be right now? Nothing. It literally couldn't be anything faster. So open up everything, be part of the journey. Right? Let everything be part of the journey. Just open up everything within you. Open up your entire awareness and let everything be part of the journey. Because you can't spell journey without joy. I realized that you actually can't spell journey without joy. Right? Your highest experience of reality is your highest self-concept. Your highest experience of reality is your highest self-concept. Don't go and dig around or fix your self-concept. I need to be loved. I need to be happy. I need to heal. I need to fix. I need to blah, blah, blah. No, you don't. If you are aware of your highest self-concept, which is God, why the hell do you need to fix anything? It just means God created something that looks broken. But in order for it to look broken, there must also be a version of it that looks perfect. And you realize the broken version perfectly looks broken because it is perfectly made to look broken, perfectly made to look fixed, perfectly made to look brand new, perfectly made to look old. And we like this. We like these ideas. We like the vintage filters on photos sometimes. We like torn jeans. Why can't God do that too? Right? God's doing that. So your highest experience of reality is knowing yourself as God, as reality, as source, as the universe. Do not interchange those because you feel better about saying one of them. They're all the same thing, right? When you know yourself as I am, abundance, love, health, wealth, joy, infinity, abundance in everything. I think I said abundance twice, but that's the point. Everything must move to match that knowing. Your inner, non-local, and physical experience must now reflect your highest self-concept, regardless of whatever is reflecting in any moment of the physical or your non-physical experiencing as awareness. Putting it simpler, whatever physical thing happens, whatever thoughts and emotions you feel don't matter, because your knowing is that I'm choosing to know myself as God, and as God, whatever it is I'm feeling as God. So if I'm experiencing a non-preferred reality, it's just an experiencing of an identity who doesn't like that, but I know as God I created it, so it doesn't mean anything. Your past does not define you. How can your past define you? You can't even remember the majority of it. Right? You are just deciding that these random, incoherent, non-cohesive moments are defining who you are right now. You literally cannot remember most of it. What you are deciding is running your life is a random moment that you are saying, because that happened, I'm that person. It didn't happen. It's a version of reality that is happening, but you don't need to identify with that identity whatsoever, because you are awareness and they all live within you. The moment you decide who you are right now, you rewrite everything backward and forward. Because think about a story. Think about a story, right? say you've written 10 pages of a story, and on page 11, you have a brilliant idea, a character trait and a character change, and you write that character change in. And then you remember page 3 and 4, or whatever, hey, this no longer fits with this character trait. And the things I was thinking about that unfold from this point no longer fit with this character trait. I'm not going to erase those 3 and 4. I'm going to rearrange to a new version of this book, knowing that the old version still exists in my awareness, but I'm going to change it and experience the changing of it. Either you scratch it out and write something else, or you backspace it and write something else. But because of who you decided to be now, where you were writing it, it changed that, and it changes the future of this character. But you know it all in one go, because as the author, the producer, and the director, you are always doing that. And it is your character experiencing those changes in every single moment. Cool, eh? That old man idea, belief, says the past is fixed. But that old man idea is basically, hey, there's an old version of me that exists. There isn't. Even the old man idea doesn't make sense, right? Because it's just who you say you are now in reality must have existed prior to experiencing it, exists now in your awareness, and must exist in your past. So if it exists in all three, it must just have existed. So even that old man idea, before you even realize there was an old man idea, that idea must have existed for all eternity. Thus, kind of taking away the idea that something old can exist. It just looks that way. When you imagine yourself, you are imagining as reality itself. The seed, your imagination, does not come from the soil, right? It's experience when you're planting it in the imagination. You are the source of the seed. The seed is the source of the experiencing of your desire, right? It's planted in your imagination. The imagination is the blank beingness of who you are. The imagination exists for you to experience things, for you to choose things, not to mourn and fuss on how to get it here to here. That is the experiencing of it. Think about now. Think about how many birthdays you've had. When are you experiencing those birthdays right now? Now, where? In your imagination. You're remembering the fun moments that you are recreating. But remember, even those moments are not locked in. No matter how fun a moment was, from your self-concept now, hey wait, I'm infinity. I don't care if I was 5 years old. I wanted a jumping castle. I'm going to imagine myself 5 years old jumping on a jumping castle. Don't know why, but just can, because I am abundance. Why not, right? When you experience your end, you've already planted your seed in the most fertile soil there is, your imagination. That you are awareness. Everything is unfolding for your experiencing of it right now. And whatever you are imagining is you experiencing that unfolding as your desired identity right now. That's who you are. So imagine it fully, right? Imagine it fully. Don't worry about the how. A lot of time the questions were, even on the Facebook group this morning, were, if I imagine something and there is a reality unfolding where it can be quite painful. This person was asking about physical rearrangements of their body, right? Something about a golden ratio or physical appearances. And they wondered, will it be painful? Yeah, there is a variation of pain involved. I mean, when you go for surgery, there is some amount of pain. I had my wisdom teeth removed. There was a wonderful amount of pain there, right? So, I'm not saying you will go through that painful experience. I'm not saying you must avoid that painful experience. I'm saying whatever you do experience is for your experiencing of it. And there's an infinite number of ways that it can unfold. You don't get to decide and choose which one is your path of least resistance. So be open and allowing everything, not denying anything, not fearing anything. Just saying, you know what, I have a desire. Whatever I desire came to me. Whatever came to me from my experiencing. I'm choosing to say yes to this. I'm going to experience it fully within my own awareness and let it go, because now I've made my choice. I know it's who I am, and then that is what must be unfolding. and I'm going to do nothing to make it happen, including avoid certain things that I think need to make it happen, because I don't need to. Whatever unfolds is already my path of least resistance, and what I have already said okay to. That's the difference. You've already said okay to whatever unfolds. So say okay to whatever's unfolding. I am your host, Reese. This is Rewrite Your Reality with yours truly. That being said, thank you for joining the channel, all the new people that subscribed. Much love to you, and all the new people that are watching this, much love to you as well. Love and light. Thank you for the liking, the sharing, the commenting, the joining of the channel, I said. Thank you for joining the TikTok page. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for joining the Facebook page. Thank you for the questions there. You know, it all lends to and leads to pointing us all back to knowing that we are awareness in a multiple infinite number of ways. Remember, there's only one way, but there are infinite number of ways to go back to that one way from every single question that we ask. So ask the questions and know that the answer is going to come from I am, because it is going to lead back to I am. Cool, right? So that being said, much love, much light, and I'll see you all in the next one.